President Volodymyr Zelenskyy participated on Friday in an award ceremony for Ukrainian soldiers. During the ceremony in Kiev, Zelenskyy awarded members of the military for capturing soldiers from North Korea in the Kursk region. Ukrainians have to defend themselves also against Koreans, who were sent here, more than 6,000 kilometers away, to destroy our lives and our country, he said. According to Associated Press, the Ukrainian leader said on his social media that awards were presented to members of the 95th Separate Air Assault Brigade and soldiers of the Separate Center for Special Operations, West, named after Prince Izyaslav Mstislavich.
Панове солдати, сержанти, офіцери та генерали.
Слава Україні! Ми відзначаємо державними нагородами України наших воїнів, звання Герой України. Бачили мільйони українців, героїчний бій нашого бійця, Зірцева. Сьогодні ж ми відзначаємо орденами наших воїнів, яким вдалося взяти в полон перших солдатів з Північної Кореї на Курському напрямку. Українці змушені оборонятися ще й проти корейців, яких перекинули сюди за понад 6 тисяч кілометрів, перекинули, щоб знищувати наше життя і нашу державу. Я пишаюсь всіма нашими хлопцями, кожним українським воїнам, які захищають свій дім від цієї навали щоденно. Дякую.
Служу українському народу.
Дякую.
Служу українському народу.
Дякую за службу. Дякую вам.
Служу українському народу.
Дякую. Дякую вам. Дякую за службу.
Служу українському народу.
Дякую.
Президент України Володимир Зеленський.
A spokesperson for Russian President Vladimir Putin welcomed, on Thursday, an announcement of a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas a day earlier. Any settlement that would result in a ceasefire and end the suffering of the people of Gaza while helping ensure the security of Israel can only be welcomed, Dmitry Peskov said in a conference call with reporters. Peskov noted that Russia had not been involved in the negotiations and refrained from further comment pending the deal's implementation. According to Associated Press, the agreement has not yet been ratified as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said his cabinet won't meet to approve the agreement for a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip and the release of dozens of hostages until Hamas backs down, accusing the group of reneging on parts of the agreement in an attempt to gain further concessions.
Любое урегулирование, которое приводит к прекращению огня и прекращению страданий народа в Газе, которое добавляет безопасности Израилю, может только приветствоваться. Россия не принимала участие в этом процессе. В целом это не что иное, как еще одно абсолютно бездоказательное обвинение России. Польша хорошо известна такими бездоказательными обвинениями. Зачастую даже пытается сохранить лидерство на этой стезе по сравнению с другими европейскими странами.
The US presidential administration confirmed that the DPRK soldiers who are participating in the fighting in Kursk are suffering heavy losses, so they advised the Russian Federation to provide these troops with a sufficient number of body bags. This was stated by White House advisor John Kirby during a press briefing in Washington. As for the DPRK's losses in Ukraine, we know that the number of North Korean soldiers killed and wounded in battles there is growing, he said. At the same time, Kirby did not disclose the exact figures since, according to him, this is intelligence data, but he confirmed that DPRK soldiers are dying, being wounded and being captured by the Ukrainian armed forces. Apparently, they received some weapons, some training from the Russians. I hope that the Russians will also continue to provide them with body bags, because they will need it if they are going to continue fighting Ukrainian forces in the Kursk region, the politician noted. The White House advisor added that the North Korean troops that Russian dictator Vladimir Putin relies on are a sign of how desperate he is. Earlier, Ukrainian military expert Yevgeny Diki spoke about the DPRK troops in the war. According to him, these soldiers turned out to be ordinary cannon fodder for the Russian Federation, which almost did not give the enemy a positive result in Kursk. The North Korean soldiers are of very little use to Russia. We are dealing with very disciplined, very highly motivated, but absolutely unprofessional cannon fodder there, he said. Dickey noted that North Korean troops very rarely surrender. He is sure that this is due to the propaganda that North Korea broadcasts to its population. That is, these are people who firstly have their brains washed by propaganda, compared to which the Russian media is simply the free world. North Korea is something absolutely beyond the pale. In principle, any propaganda can be penetrated, but they still have families there, and these families are effectively hostages. They all know very well what the regime of Comrade Kim Jong-un does with the families of traitors. Just as in Stalin's time, there was the concept of family member of a traitor to the motherland, which determined the entire fate of a person, so it is in North Korea. That is, their families are hostages there, so they will not surrender or retreat, Dickey emphasized. He added that the Russians often use North Korean soldiers as free labor. According to him, these soldiers only held machine guns in their hands when taking the oath, which confirmed their effectiveness on the battlefield.